In 1973, a monster-like man attacked 5 friends in Texas. He used a hammer and a chainsaw to kill them, and out of that group of friends, only one girl, Sally, survived. She gave her statement to the police and never spoke of it again. According to her statement, that monster-like man was wearing a mask made of human skin. 50 years later, Lila is watching this news in a store in Texas. Lila asks the store owner, "What happened to this Sally?" The store owner says, Sally spent 40 years searching for that monster to get her revenge, but she never found him. Just then, Lila's sister Melody arrives, and the two of them go outside to meet their friends, Dante, and his girlfriend, Anna. As they're all heading out, a man pulls up in a car, carrying a gun with him. Seeing the gun, Melody says, "This guy looks like a real coward, that's why he's carrying a gun." The man hears this too and answers Melody in the same way. After this, everyone gets into the car and starts heading toward a town called Harlo. But then, the gas station attendant, just to bother them, speeds his truck in front of them, spewing black smoke. A little further on, a sheriff pulls them over. He asks where they're headed, and they tell him they're going to the town of Harlo. Hearing this, the sheriff gives them his card and tells them to call him if they run into any trouble. Before long, they arrive at the town of Harlo, which is completely empty, like a ghost town, with no one around. As it turns out, Dante and Melody had taken out a bank loan and bought this town, and their plan was to bring it back to life, meaning they wanted to bring people here and build a whole town. The other people who want to buy homes in this town are coming behind them in a bus. Just then, the gas station attendant steps out of a house, and Dante realizes it's Richter, whom he had hired to renovate these buildings. Richter meets them and then goes inside to his garage. Just then, Lila's eyes fall on a Confederate flag above one of the houses. Seeing it, Dante says that if their investors see this, they'll turn right around and leave. Dante and Melody go inside the house to take the flag down. Dante climbs up and tries to take it down, but he can't reach it, and he comes back down. Just then, an old woman comes out. Seeing her, Dante and Melody are quite shocked, since they had bought this whole town. The old woman speaks to them very kindly and offers them tea, but Dante doesn't speak kindly to her at all. He tells her, "We've bought this house," and tells her to get out of it. When the old woman refuses to leave, Dante goes off to bring the sheriff. Meanwhile, Melody kindly tells the old woman, "We'll get you set up in a shelter where you can live in peace." As she's saying this, a monster-like looking man arrives. The old woman says, "This is my son," and sends him inside. The next moment, Dante arrives there with the police. As the officers are taking the old woman out of the house, her condition starts to worsen. The monster-like man arrives and puts his mother in the van. Melody starts to go with the officer to the hospital, but just then the investors' bus also arrives, and Anna tells her to stay here instead, since the investors have come to meet Melody. Anna herself goes in the van with the police toward the hospital. Meanwhile, Richter also takes down the flag. Now Dante and Melody start showing the investors around the town, but on the other hand, the old woman dies in the van. Seeing this, Anna texts Melody to let her know. The old woman's death makes her son extremely angry, and he grabs an oxygen tank and starts shaking it violently. When an officer tries to stop him from doing this, the monster-like man breaks the officer's arm and shoves it into his throat. The officer pulls out a gun to shoot the man, but the bullet accidentally hits the officer in front instead, causing the van to crash. When Melody learns the old woman has died, she's devastated. She blames Dante for it and goes to Lila, telling her the old woman has died, and says, "We're leaving this place." Richter, standing up above, overhears this. When Melody reaches the bus, Dante hands them the car keys so they can leave, but Richter grabs the keys instead. Richter tells them, "You threw that old woman out of her own house, and now she's dead." He tells them, "Bring me the paperwork for that house, and then take your car keys." Dante goes into the bus to look for the property papers but can't find them, which makes Melody start to think they really did throw the old woman out of her own home, causing her death. But Dante tells her, "Maybe the house papers got left behind at my office." Melody doesn't believe Dante, and the two of them go to search for the property papers at the old woman's house, while Lila stays behind on the bus. Meanwhile, in the van, Anna regains consciousness, and what she sees would shake anyone to their core. Through the van's mirror, she sees the monster-like man peeling the skin off his mother's face. Seeing this, Anna is completely terrified, and she grabs the radio in front of her to call for help. Just then, she sees the man has peeled off the skin from his mother's face and is putting it on his own face, which is when we learn this is Leatherface. Anna calls for help again, and the gas station attendant hears her, but just then Leatherface arrives. Seeing him, Anna pretends to be dead. Leatherface hits the sheriff with the oxygen tank and walks off. Frightened, Anna slowly opens her eyes and quietly tries to sneak out, but just then Leatherface comes back. He grabs Anna by the throat, slashes her stomach open with a knife, brutally killing her, and then heads back toward the town of Harlo for revenge. On the other hand, the gas station attendant calls Sally and tells her Leatherface is back. Hearing this, Sally gets ready, puts her gun in the car, and sets out to kill Leatherface, since she wants revenge for her friends. Meanwhile, Melody finds the old woman's house papers inside a box, and learns that this house had, in fact, still belonged to the old woman, which makes Melody feel terrible. Meanwhile, Dante, who is searching for the papers in another room of the house, hears some noise. He goes to check it out, and just then Leatherface appears. Seeing his face, Dante is completely terrified, realizing he's about to die. Leatherface grabs Dante and starts attacking him. Dante tries to run but falls down because of his injury. Melody hears the noise too and goes outside to check, and she sees Leatherface standing over Dante's body. Seeing this, Melody's heart sinks, but before Leatherface can spot her, she goes upstairs and hides in a closet in one of the rooms. But her luck doesn't hold, because Leatherface comes into that same room and starts moving toward the closet. Seeing this, Melody realizes she's about to die, but Leatherface opens the closet next to hers instead, takes out his mother's clothes, and holds them, crying. Seeing this, Melody feels deeply upset inside. Just then, Leatherface hears some sounds, and looking through the window, he sees a lot of people outside. Seeing them makes him furious, and he leaves. Melody quietly comes out of the closet and stands by the window, gesturing outside for help. But since they're too far away, no one notices her. Suddenly, the weather changes and it starts raining, so everyone goes back inside the bus. Just then, Melody hears Leatherface coming again, and she quickly hides under the bed. Leatherface comes into the room carrying a hammer and starts breaking down the wall. Hearing the noise, Dante, who hasn't actually died, regains consciousness and staggers out of the house. Richter spots Dante and asks him what he was doing inside the house, but as soon as Dante turns around, Richter is stunned, because Dante's face has been slashed open, and Dante collapses and dies right there in front of him. Seeing this, Richter quickly tells a girl standing nearby to call the police, and he himself grabs a gun and goes inside the house. Meanwhile, Leatherface breaks through the wall and pulls out the chainsaw he had hidden there years ago, and starts it up. Just then, he hears someone coming and quickly hides behind the door. When Richter comes in, Melody, from under the bed, turns a piece of glass lying nearby, and its reflection reveals Leatherface hiding behind the door to Richter. Leatherface immediately attacks Richter. Richter tries to fight back, but Leatherface breaks his knee with the hammer. Still, Richter doesn't give up, and he shoves Leatherface against the window. But that doesn't help either. The next moment, Leatherface slams Richter's neck against the glass, and Richter collapses right there. But even this isn't enough for Leatherface, and he beats Richter's face in with the hammer again and again, terrifying Melody, who's hiding under the bed, completely. Meanwhile, Sally arrives at the field where the van crashed. There, she sees that Leatherface has peeled off his mother's skin and left her sitting in one spot. Seeing this, Sally realizes this is the very monster she's been searching for over the past 50 years. On the other hand, when Melody doesn't come back to the bus for a long time, Lila gets off to go look for her. The girl who had seen Dante get killed tries to stop her, but Lila doesn't listen and heads into the town. A little further ahead, she finds Dante's body, and the sight terrifies her completely. Meanwhile, when Leatherface finally leaves the room, Melody quietly tries to get out of the house, but just then Leatherface shows up there. Without wasting any time, he throws his hammer at Melody, knocking her straight down. The next moment, Leatherface picks up the chainsaw and starts moving toward her. Seeing this, Melody is completely terrified, and as she tries to escape downstairs to save herself, Leatherface tries to kill her with the chainsaw, but Melody manages to dodge and keeps moving forward. Just then, Lila, hearing the noise, arrives there too and pulls Melody out of harm's way, and the two of them run to save themselves. After this, they run into the bus and quickly tell the driver to leave, and he starts driving off. But then Leatherface shows up. Seeing him, the confused bus driver assumes someone got left behind, and stops the bus to get out and check, but the next moment, his severed head comes flying into the bus, and then Leatherface himself climbs aboard with his chainsaw. All the investors standing there think it's some kind of prankster and start filming him, but Leatherface was about to cause absolute carnage on the bus. He starts up his chainsaw, and anyone who comes in front of him, he brutally kills, one after another. Melody quickly takes Lila and hides in the bus's bathroom, while Leatherface spills rivers of blood outside, killing everyone. Melody spots an escape route above and gets Lila out first, but when it's her turn, Leatherface cuts through the door and starts coming in. Seeing this, Melody is completely terrified, but she gathers her courage, stabs Leatherface's arm with something sharp, and quickly climbs up out of the bus. Both of them jump down from the bus and start running to save their lives. Just then, Sally arrives in her car and gets them both inside. but Sally doesn't drive off. When Melody tells her to get them out of there, Sally says she's not leaving, she's actually come to kill Leatherface and get her revenge. Sally even locks the car doors, so that when Leatherface comes to hunt down the two girls, she can kill him. After this, Sally heads out to look for Leatherface, and as soon as she leaves, Leatherface suddenly shows up and starts trying to pull Lila out of the car. Just then, Sally starts shooting at Leatherface from behind, causing him to run off. Sally hands Melody the car keys and tells her to get out of there, and she herself goes after Leatherface. Suddenly, Leatherface comes running towards Sally and grabs her gun. Sally stabs him with a knife, but it doesn't do any good. The next moment, Leatherface drives his chainsaw into Sally and lifts her into the air. Seeing this, Melody quickly drives the car toward Leatherface. He sees this and throws his chainsaw at the car, which makes it swerve and crash into Richter's garage. Because of the crash, a piece of metal pierces Melody's leg. Lila tries to pull the metal piece out, but just then Melody sees Leatherface coming toward them. Seeing this, Melody tells Lila, "Leatherface won't let me live," and tells her to get out of there. Lila doesn't want to leave Melody behind, but at Melody's insistence, she runs off. Leatherface approaches Melody, and she apologizes to him for his mother's death, but it doesn't matter to Leatherface, and he starts up his chainsaw. But before Leatherface can kill Melody, Lila, holding Richter's gun, calls out to him. As soon as Leatherface turns around, Lila fires at him, but the gun jams. Now Leatherface starts chasing after Lila and attacking her, but just then Sally, who still has a little life left in her, shoots Leatherface, causing him to run into a nearby house. Lila starts running to save herself, but Sally tells her to stop. Sally hands her the gun and says, "If you run, he'll never stop chasing you." Lila sees that Melody is sitting safely in the car, and then, picking up the gun, she goes into the house to kill Leatherface. Meanwhile, Melody also gathers her courage and starts pulling the metal piece out of her leg. Inside the house, Leatherface suddenly attacks from behind and grabs Lila, jumping into the water with her. A little while later, Lila somehow makes it back out. She reaches for her gun, but Leatherface kicks it away and starts going after her with the chainsaw. Lila realizes there's nothing more she can do, but just then Melody attacks Leatherface. He throws Melody down and moves toward her to kill her, but Lila quickly picks up the gun and starts shooting at Leatherface, though unfortunately the bullets run out too. The next moment, Melody stands up holding the chainsaw, and finally strikes Leatherface across the face, knocking him into the water. Leatherface sinks underwater, making both of them think he's dead. But the danger wasn't over yet. Meanwhile, morning arrives. Lila picks up Sally's photo and hat, and the two of them put the car on auto drive and start talking. The next moment, Leatherface grabs Melody, pulls her out of the car, and slits her throat right in front of Lila's eyes, leaving Lila completely devastated. But thanks to the auto drive, she survives. At the end of the story, Leatherface is seen heading back toward his old house. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.